I love to be here at the University of Maryland campus. It's almost like my second home, I have to say. First off, I just want to welcome all of you for taking the time to be here today and to especially thank the Smith School of Business for hosting today's event. Like I said, I look forward to being here because not only of the incredible amount of possibilities that, stem right here from this university, but I'm a proud mom of two terps, right? And because and because of the fantastic education that they received here at the University of Maryland, they turned out to be my favorite kind of people, taxpayers. Right? They're out there in the world working and making a positive impact on our world. So, Dean Konana, thank you so much for your kind introduction and especially for your extraordinary innovative leadership here at the Smith School of Business. Now, Dean Konana and I share some same roots. We're both from India, we're both engineers, and we both had brilliant fathers who really pushed us hard. And they told us we could be anything that we wanted to be, a doctor or an engineer, right? But Dean Konana broke the mold. He not only studied engineering, but he also went on to become a national leader in business education, a world class scholar, and a relentless champion for students. Now, did you all know that he actually hosts Thanksgiving dinner and he invites up to 40 students that come every year? Dean Konana, I'm still waiting for that invitation. And I also want to thank some of the members that are here, the Moore Miller administration. Let me tell you, Governor Moore and I would not be able to do the kind of work that we do to be ahead of other states if not for the incredible leaders that serve as cabinet secretaries. And two of them are here today. And that is Secretary Sanjay Rai of our Higher Education Commission. Look, let me tell you, I've known Dr. Rye for many, many years, and I've seen firsthand his deep commitment to students, equity, and excellence. He's not just a champion of higher education, he's the architect of creating opportunity for the future. So thank you, Secretary Rye. I also want to recognize our incredible Secretary Chowdhury of General Services. Look, all of you that are looking for state contract, this is a guy to know, okay? No, make sure you don't forget his face. Make sure you get a card from him. And let me tell you, the governor and I host what's called BPW, which is Board of Public Works. So anytime there's a contract over $200,000 that goes through state agencies, we have these biweekly meetings, right? And let me tell you, the person who's most popular, who gets quizzed the hardest, is Secretary Chowdhury because there is so much money and contracts that go through his department. So please be sure to get to know him. Now, I want to say that, I'm here at the Startup Bazaar and I want to thank American Bazaar for hosting this event and many others that are here. I'll say the first thing that, it's great to be here with disruptors, boundary pushers, and not one of you who likes to play it safe. And I love that about this community because the future isn't shaped by those who settle into comfort. It's shaped by those who are curious and hungry and bold enough to ask the question, but what if? What if we did it this way? And that you are also answering the question too. So, full disclosure, I don't have a startup. But I met a whole lot of Maryland startup founders who turned ramen noodles, hustle, and big ideas into real impact. I'm not working out of a garage, though I do work a lot in our government SUV because as lieutenant governor, that means my office, my office oftentimes ends up being the back seat in between while we're trying to drive to different events across the state. And I've never pitched to a venture capitalist. but I pitch Maryland everywhere I go. So here I go. I'm going to share some facts about the great state of Maryland. And I want you to take away from this that you all need to be the ambassadors of Maryland, right? It isn't just enough that I go out and talk about how great Maryland is. The community needs to hear from people like you that they know, that they trust, so you can bring businesses here and people to move here to the great state of Maryland. So here I go with my pitch. So, why is the small but mighty state of Maryland so epic? It's a brain trust for the nation. We are number one in the country for the highest concentration of employed PhD scientists and engineers. We're number one in the nation for state minority businesses, state owned. Number two, as the most educated state overall. We're home to 60 federal agencies, 20 military installations, and we're a leader in innovation with 74 federal research labs. That's twice as many as any other state. And we're home to 57 colleges and universities. University of Maryland's Discovery District is home to more than 50 up and coming companies and currently hosts more than 200 quantum researchers, including IonQ. Forbes has dubbed University of Maryland the epicenter of quantum technology in the United States, and Maryland boasts one of the largest computer science programs in the country and also ranks among the top nationwide for for its number of female computer science students, which by the way, one of my daughters is a computer scientist. I love to see women in these fields. So we have four outstanding HBCUs where Morgan State University graduates the highest percentage of Black engineers in the nation. That is remarkable. And here comes my personal favorite. Do you know where one of the highest concentration of aerospace engineers are? Come on, you guys should know the answer. Okay, I'm building up Maryland here, right? Here's the thing. It's California. Not the state of California, California, Maryland, right? I don't know how many of you know this, but there's a California, Maryland. Yes, there is. And we have the Navy Pax, Pax River and the Navy that's there, and they are doing incredible work in that area. So that's my Maryland elevator pitch, highlighting our world class assets, unmatched talent, and a clear vision for the future. As I said, I'm not a startup founder, but here's what Governor Moore and I know for sure, that the potential and the responsibility that comes with AI. Because this moment we're in, it's not just about technology can do, it's about what we choose to do with it. It's about how do we apply it to improve lives for others. AI is not just the future, it is the now. Now, how many of you have heard of Ray Kurzweil? Anybody know him? Okay, I see two hands that went up. Okay, for those of you that may not know who he is, please Google him. But in the meantime, I'll let you know he's a computer scientist, author, and an entrepreneur. In 2005, he wrote a book called Singularity is Near. In 2024, he wrote a follow up book called The Singularity is Nearer. And here's what he predicts when it comes to AI. He says by 2029, artificial intelligence will reach or surpass human intelligence. In the 2030s, humans will merge with AI, connecting our neocortex to the cloud. And by 2045, we will reach singularity, where biological intelligence will be a billion times more powerful than all human intelligence combined. Now, whether that excites you or gives you pause, I'll tell you one thing. AI isn't the future, it is the present. It's shaping everything from ethics to economics, from public policy to personal lives. And that's why Governor Westmore and I are committed to integrating artificial intelligence into state government responsibly, ethically, equitably, and transparently. We know AI isn't just a tool, it's a force. And we want that force working for the people, not around them. That's why Governor Moore appointed Nishant Shah as Maryland's first senior advisor for responsible AI. And what's his mission? His mission is to ensure AI is used responsibly, equitably, and productively, and to raise our own state's AI IQ and asking what does good governors look like in the age of AI, not in theory, but in practice. Earlier this year, we hosted the very first Roundtable Academia AI and bringing together state agency and world class academic leaders here in the state of Maryland with the goal of unlocking opportunities and collaboration and to leverage AI capabilities. We know that AI is only as powerful as the data behind it. And Maryland, the state government, has that data. But when the data is locked in silos across numerous departments, it cannot reach its full potential. Maryland's research institutions can drive cutting edge innovation tailored to public sector needs. And they play a crucial role in training our workforce, equipping state employees with skills to use AI responsibly. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I don't know how many have you heard of this, but an economist said that in order for the United States, and let's just say the state of Maryland, to be globally competitive, it's going to require three things: innovation, immigration, and procreation. Okay. So let me explain what that is. I think this audience understands what innovation is all about, right? I just talked about it. Immigration. Look, immigration, when it comes to that, in Maryland, 16.7% of Maryland's population are immigrants, and they make up 21% of Maryland's labor force. And they account for approximately 30% of entrepreneurs, 25% of STEM workers, and 30% of nurses. Immigrants are essential to America's success. In fact, immigrants founded or co founded 55% of U.S. startups valued at over $1 billion in this nation. So, immigrants are very important, right, Kim? We want to make sure that when we get that brain trust here in the state of Maryland, we want to make sure there are companies out there that are sponsoring these students so they can continue to serve the people of Maryland with the great education and training that they receive right here in our state. Now, procreation. Thank you. So procreation, let me tell you what's happening there. In 1960s, there were 6 working age people for every retired person. Today, that ratio is closer to 3 to 1. And it's predicted by 2035, it's expected to be 2 to 1. So what does that mean? That means young people of the new generation, they're not thinking about having children and raising families. So why is that? Well, first of all, we need to make sure that we make housing affordable, right? To stay here in the state. So they stay here and they can raise a family on, maybe one income or two incomes, whatever it may be. And here's the other thing. When workplace policies are not advantageous for young people raising a family, young people are not going to have children. Right? So here's what we're doing in the state of Maryland. With our partners in the General Assembly, we passed the Family Leave Act, which guarantees 12 weeks paid leave for a father and mother should, when they want to take time after the birth of a child or adoption of a child. We need to create more family work friendly policies here in the state, and Maryland is in the lead when it comes to this. So there's a lot of work that we need to do when it comes to those three areas. Look, when it comes to innovation, Governor Moore is putting our chips on tech and betting on the industries of the future, which is technology, life sciences, quantum, and AI. So let's talk about quantum. My Maryland pitch, Maryland is ground zero for quantum innovation. We are home right here at the University of Maryland, home to the incredible IonQ, the first pure play quantum computing company to go public. And as I said, it was born right here at University of Maryland. Now, we're building the quantum corridor stretching from College Park to Baltimore, combining academic experience, national labs, federal funding, and private capital to accelerate quantum technologies that will transform everything from logistics to national security. Governor Moore is investing in this corridor, not just as an idea, but as infrastructure roads, fiber, optics, lab space, and workforce pipelines designed to power innovation from the ground up that will make Maryland the quantum capital of America. And when it comes to biosciences, Maryland already leads. Our I 270 corridor, what Time magazine has referred to as the DNA Alley, is one of the most concentrated hubs of life science companies in the world. We have more than 3,000 life science companies here, employing over 54,000 people. These are companies that helped develop COVID-19 vaccines, pioneered cancer immunotherapies, and now are exploring gene editing and precise medicine. And you know what makes Maryland such a unique place to all of this? Because where else can you find in the nation a biotech startup company, a federal research lab, a top university, and a VC firm all within 30 miles of each other? This proximity is not just geographic, it's collaborative, it's Maryland's unique superpower and an innovation ecosystem where discovery, funding, and impact live in the same neighborhood. But none of this works without our greatest resource, our people. We can have the most exciting technologies in the world, but if we don't have a workforce to match it, we're just spinning our wheels. We're expanding, but here's what Governor Moore and I are doing. We're expanding apprenticeships in tech, biotech, and cybersecurity because not every innovator wears a lab coat, or has a PhD. We're partnering with our community colleges and HBCUs to ensure students of color are connected to the industries of tomorrow. That's what our Equitech Growth Fund is about because innovation doesn't just belong to a certain group, it belongs to everyone. And let me say this if you're a student here today, wondering if your idea is good enough, and I see all of you there, don't wait to feel ready. Start now. And remember, you don't get ready, you stay ready. If you're a founder who just got told no, remember, every world changing idea was once dismissed, doubted, or ignored. Rejection doesn't mean you stop, it means keep building until they can't look away. If you're bootstrapping your company while juggling classes, side jobs, and self doubt, know that Maryland sees you and we're betting on you. You're solving problems policymakers cannot even begin to imagine. You're seeing into the future and you're building the roadmap to get us there. So keep going, keep dreaming, keep disrupting, but always let your North Star be this: use your talent, your ideas, and your innovation in service of something greater than yourself. Because the two most important days of your life are the day that you're born and the day you discover why. So go out and discover your why, your purpose. Because when you lead with purpose, you won't just change markets, you'll change lives. And that is how you leave your fingerprints on the world. Thank you so much for having me here.